Well, howdy fellas, and welcome back to Dust Customs. Today we're on another project, something I've been thinking about for a fair while, and I've been kind of hunting around just trying to see what the best way of doing it is, and obviously, you know, in the Dust Customs way, trying to do it as cheap as possible. Let me flip you around and I'll show you what we're in for. And boom, there it is. So you all are probably familiar, if you're in the Volkswagen community, of the Volkswagen fender bike, the VW Beetle fender bike. They've been getting around for a while now and people have been, you know, making them in different ways. So what I'm going to try and do is, you know, that basically. We're going to take that bike, cut it to fit that guard, and make a nice little show cruiser, something we can cruise around at the shows at. And it's just been something I've wanted to do for a while. Now, look, these are just a set of super guards that I've got kicking around. I don't have a super, probably never going to own a super. I wouldn't mind a super, but that's what I've got. I paid $100 for that little bike. It supposedly runs, don't know yet. I don't want to spend a lot of money on this project. This is just something that I've been wanting to do for ages, and we're going to get it done, and this is how we do it. So first up, we'll just pull it apart, pull all the tank off, the stuff that we don't need, and then try and figure out how to make the stuff that we do need fit. I'm not really sure what's going to go on with the handlebars. I don't know how that's going to work. Like, I don't think that system, that setup of the kind of the street bike is going to work. I'm going to have to figure something else out, but it's just what we do, fellas. Well, that's it there. Basically stripped all the crap that I don't need off. Battery's completely dead. I don't even know if I need it to run. It does have a pull start on it, so whether or not, I don't think I need the battery to run, but we'll figure that out later. Right now, I'm not even going to try and get it running. I just want to try and make them roughly fit and then figure out, is it going to work? What do I actually need to do? Do I need to shorten up the frame? Do I need to, pull in the rake of the front wheel? Maybe that's all I need. It might not be much, it might not be much at all. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to get cutting. So I'm pretty sure that is what I'm trying to achieve. Cut that up through there, leave the headlight bucket on this one, and then get the other one and cut it the same and leave not the headlight bucket on it, and boom, boom. Look, I think that's it. I can't imagine how I could make it without I've got to make the headlight bucket round, so I'm thinking it's got to go straight through the guts there. Let's just hack it and, see where we end up. Righto, so there's my two guards prepped. I kind of just left as much on them as I thought. You can always take a bit more off. Left the headlight bucket in one side and cut it out of the other side. So hopefully it just kind of goes whoop together. Hopefully. I mean, this is always a bit of a struggle, this kind of stuff. So I'll just give it a crack and see how it goes. So the idea is that these will just go together. It's not bad. I think I'm looking for something kind of like that. Kind of like that. The front is a little guess that's what they look like when you... So this here, I've left that all a bit long, so I'm just going to have to hack that through. That kind of will come together hopefully like that. So that there needs to come. Okay, come on. Under there, that's fine. That. That's over there. Yes. And then that, I'm just going to have to try and belt that around. So I think what I'll do to start with is just trim a bit more off that. I might put a couple of, yeah, that's a bit better. Probably put a couple of techies in it. Just kind of texture it together so I can then figure out how I'm going to cut this thing. Cool, pretty happy with that. Have a look at this, fellas. That's looking the part. You can see what I was saying. This here is just, obviously they're not meant to fit together, so I've got to kind of cut that and make that work. Be nice if it was a bit rounder than kind of pointier, but you know, I can probably hit that with some big hammers. Cool. All right, I'm going to try and tack it together. I'll put some screws in it and see if we can't get it to hold together a bit. Right, oh, so I've got that thing kind of tacked together with some screws. It's obviously not, you know, perfectly finished, but it's kind of, you know, close to where it needs to be. So the biggest deal we got now, I think the wheelbase on the bike is just a bit too big by, you know, that much. So what I could do is, there's a couple options here. I can do that, bring that in, which is probably going to be the easiest thing to do. Wouldn't be much to kind of modify that frame. I probably could just actually just chop them off down there, boom, boom, and bend them in, and that would bring, you know, because I've got all that space there. Probably gonna have to take the handlebars off. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about them yet, but we'll figure that out. Yep. I'll start cutting. Well, I've tacked all that together. I've still got a bit of work to do on the front there, but I decided I'm going to try and get it to fit. And what I'm going to do first up is just hack that back bit off. I've unbolted the handlebars there. I'm going to probably make a set of ape hangers for it because they are not going to work down in the guard. But I'll hack this bit off and see if we can get it to sit on there. So, all right, so that front wheel is obviously too far forward. We need to bring it back. And the only way to do that is to kind of shorten up this section through here. We've got to make it narrower there and there. Look, ooh, don't fall over. I need about that much, and you know, I've got that and that. I reckon I can make that work. First up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these here and there. I've got a battery box in there, but look, I think there's a lot of other spots that battery box could live. So I might just kind of remove it. I might even just rip off all the wiring, because I'm going to have to go through it anyway and see what's going on with it. And we'll just make this fit that and then worry about everything else. It's amazing it takes that much of wire to run this little bike. Believe me, it's not going to by the time I'm done. So I've just hacked that out of there, boom, so I can bring that back in there. Let's just see if I can film how I'm going to do that. So the way I'm thinking I'm going to do that is just to go like this. clamp on that and just see if I can get it to stay there. Kind of getting there. So what does that do for me? It's getting there. It's getting there. I'll put a couple of tacks on that. Like I'm probably going to pull the engine out and that to weld it all up and clean it up anyway. I'll put that up, and you know, one of the other ideas I've had, anyway, we won't worry about that right now. I'll tack that together, and then yeah, then we'll get back into it. I feel like I've kind of nearly got it there. I kind of, a bit of a different plan. I've just kinked that back to where I want it, and you know, like I feel like it's almost a thing. So now I've just got to try and figure out how to kind of tidy it up and finish it off. Maybe try and get it down a little bit more if I can, but I'll just work on it a bit more. Look, I think that's kind of roughly where it needs to be. So I'm just going to start welding that frame back up, cleaning off all the dags I don't need, and then we'll just try and put this thing back together and see if we've got a roller. All right, I'm liking that a lot more. I actually squished the forks in, cut the tops off them off, and it kind of just brought everything down a bit more. All right, let's weld this frame up, finish welding up that guard. I've got to make some handlebars. We're not sure what we're doing with that yet. But overall, pretty happy with the progress so far. Righto. So I'm busy tacking this thing together. Pretty happy with how it's coming together. I'm not happy with that shape. It's not, you know, Volkswagens don't have points, they have rounds. So I'm thinking I'm going to kind of draw a line there and then just see if I can't, you know, bash it with a hammer, get it a bit better. Well, I think we've kind of roughly got it, you know, fitting. Now I've just got to figure out how to get a bit of steering up through there and then get it running. Well, fellas, that's it for me for today. I've come to a point where I'm just walking around in circles and I just need to have a break. It is Sunday Arvo. I'm going to go home and sit on the couch for a bit, I think. I don't get to do that very often. I feel like doing it today. So look, stay tuned for part two. Part two, we'll get this thing put together and take it for a drive, all right? I'll catch you later.